I was 28 years old, newly single, and had just inherited $340,000 from my grandmother. I thought I was careful. I thought I was smart. I thought I could spot a liar. I was wrong on every single count. What happened next cost me almost everything, and what I did about it will shock you. His name was Daniel. We met at a charity event 3 months after my grandmother passed away. He was charming, well-dressed, and said all the right things. He asked thoughtful questions. He remembered small details. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. Looking back now, I can see exactly what he was doing. But at the time, I just thought I had finally met someone worth trusting. We started dating 2 weeks later. Within a month, he had told me he loved me. Within 2 months, he had moved into my apartment. I told myself it was fast, but it felt right. That is exactly what he wanted me to think. Daniel never asked for money directly. He was far too clever for that. Instead, he planted ideas. He mentioned an investment opportunity. Just once, casually, over dinner. Then he brought it up again a week later, with documents that looked completely legitimate. He said his business partner had already put in $200,000. He said the returns would be life-changing. He said he didn't need my money. He just thought I deserved to benefit too. And then, he said the one thing that sealed it. He said he wanted to build a future with me, that he saw us getting married, that this investment would be the foundation of our life together. I transferred $180,000 within the week. 3 weeks after the transfer, the calls started going to voicemail. Not always, just occasionally. Then Daniel started traveling for business. A lot. New York, Dubai, Singapore. Always last minute. Always just a few days. I told myself it was the investment moving forward. I told myself successful people were busy. Then one night while he was in the shower, his phone lit up on the kitchen counter. A message from someone called Marcus that said, and I remember every single word, "She transferred? How much? We need to move fast before she talks to a lawyer." I stood there in my kitchen holding his phone, and I felt the floor disappear beneath me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I put the phone back exactly where it was, and I went to bed. I lay there in the dark next to him, and I made a decision. I was not going to be a victim. The next morning, while Daniel was still sleeping, I called my lawyer. Then I called my bank. Then I called a private investigator. I had 72 hours before he suspected anything. I used every single minute of them. What the private investigator found in 6 days was devastating and clarifying at the same time. Daniel was not a businessman. He had done this before. Twice. One woman in London had lost $90,000. Another in Amsterdam had lost $220,000. Neither had pressed charges because they were too ashamed. He had a pattern, a method, and a partner named Marcus who handled the financial side. The investment company was completely fake. The documents were forged. And Daniel, the man who had told me he loved me, the man who had talked about our future, had been running this con for over 4 years. Here is what Daniel did not know. My grandmother had not left me just money. She had left me her lawyer, a woman who had been practicing financial fraud law for 30 years. Within 10 days, we had filed a police report in 3 countries. Interpol was involved within the week. Daniel came home from Singapore to find 2 detectives waiting in our apartment instead of me. Marcus was arrested the same morning in a different city. The $180,000 was frozen before they could touch it. I got $163,000 back. Not everything, but enough. Daniel is currently awaiting trial. I testified last spring. I sat across from him in that courtroom, and I looked him directly in the eyes. He looked away first. I will not pretend the experience didn't leave marks. I am more careful now, more guarded. I take longer to trust. But I also know things about myself that I didn't know before. I know that I am not someone who falls apart. I know that when everything goes wrong, I get quiet, and I get strategic. And I know that the best revenge is not anger. It is making sure they face real consequences, while you rebuild your life into something they could never touch. I started a foundation last year, in my grandmother's name, that helps women who have been victims of financial fraud. So far, we have helped 47 women recover funds and press charges. My grandmother would have loved that. If someone in your life is moving too fast, asking too many questions about your finances, and making you feel like the luckiest person in the world, please slow down. Trust is earned slowly. Anyone who rushes it has a reason to rush it. Subscribe for more real stories every week, and drop a comment. Have you ever had someone try to manipulate you for money? How did you handle it?